Yo, what is up? You know we got a good one for you today. Couple of weeks off, probably 2 weeks, week and a half. I did record something right before Christmas, right before I went to Puerto Rico, and it was like trying to draw blood from a stone. There's just not much going on in MMA, and it got weirdly political. Had some crazy ideas out there, so we had to go ahead and cut that one. Actually, I was just too lazy to edit it in Puerto Rico, and then I was like, it's kind of been a minute. Let me just re-talk about all this stuff, and then I just, you know how it is when you have that shitty paper that you're gonna go hand in to the professor, and you're like, fuck it, we'll just roll the dice, see if it's good, see if it's legible. We got a great guest to the Fightcraft podcast today. My name is Klein Wong. Welcome to the Fightcraft podcast. This is gonna be crazy because one of the two people that watches my podcast is actually going to be on the podcast. So I think the numbers are going to go down this week, have to get my mom to just turn on the YouTube channel and let it play for a little bit. But, it's pretty good time to do some, we're going to recap 2024, go over some of our favorite moments. It is Dorain Miller, Doughboy Fresh, the ultimate, absolute blackest person I know. No, I'm kidding. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Bro, nothing. You know what's going on. I woke up late this morning and scrambled to get to the studio.
This guy overslept, told me 10 a.m. Here we are, almost 2 hours later.
In classic Klein fashion too, like asserted 10 a.m. confidently was like, bro, excellent. I'm gonna set all these alarms. I'm gonna be there early. I'm gonna have everything ready, and then woke up at like 10:08. Woke up at like 9. And was like, I got plenty of time. I'm going to get another 5 minutes of sleep here. Set like 2 alarms too when I woke up at 9. And then like woke up at 10:08 to a text with Dorain being like, "Are you still on for 10?" And I was like, "No, dude." No, I didn't. Fuck. But we're here. We're not queer. Get used to that. Bro, how was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? What'd you do?
Hey, Christmas was good, man. New Year's, don't really go out much on New Year's anymore, so stay home. Had a lot of drinks.
Yeah.
Watched the ball drop.
We're getting in bed by like 12:15.
Yeah, pretty much. I worked the next day.
That blows, dude.
Yeah.
I did not have work the next day. I got annihilated on New Year's Eve and felt it too. Like was like, I don't drink like this anymore. I'm fucking old now. Far from the days where we used to like clock off from Best Buy and just get trashed on a weekend.
Well, hit the gas station, get the bottle of wine.
Get a $5 bottle of wine.
You get 24 ounces, slam those, and then go get drunk.
Drinking 2 Four Locos to start, and then we'd head out to fucking Ybor City with like, well, the crew from Best Buy, it was Maurice and Jasmine a couple times, and Chi, and
don't forget our boy Dan.
I was thinking of the Best Buy crew, but yeah, dude, oh my God, Dan. I mean, you want to talk about partying a little too hard. A few nights, I've had 1 or 2 nights with you and Dan where I wake up being like, I gotta change myself in my life. My friend is in the hospital right now, and we made some poor mistakes. Poor decisions. Party tonight at Borgor's.
Bro, after that, I think we went back to your house and had some more drinks reminiscent about the previous night.
That was wild. That
was a crazy night.
That was wild, dude. I remember I was allegedly, hypothetically, I had a dream that I was on some illicit substances with a friend, and we met Dorain and Dan there, and the substances were working, and someone allegedly was clawing at me when they found out we had these substances, and that person, I didn't even know that person had like 20 fucking drinks before they got there, and then cut to Dan's in the hospital. I'm like, oh shit. Does he have health insurance? No. Damn,
Bro,
dude.
I tried to find him. I called every hospital in Tampa, and they're like, no, he's not here. He's not here. I'm like, yo, he's got to be here. He's at one of
dude.
these. I'm gonna start driving to him.
Yeah, dude. Also, like physically out of commission. Like might have accidentally taken like meth or something and was just dead in my bed. Um, and then like dude, I remembered like this is so fucked. We did not plan on talking about this. Fucking, I remember we were at the Ritz in Ybor, and it might have been Czar at the time, or no, yeah, I think it was the Ritz. And Dan is like, I'm like blacking in and out, and one of the like black ins that I remember is like me in the back bar and Dan on the floor rubbing himself, and like this random ravers are the friendliest fucking people in the world because this group of like 12 people all with like bracelets and like candy and like nipple pasties and shit, like they like circle us to to block us off from security who hasn't noticed yet. They're like just giving us cover, and they're like trying to pick him up, give him water. They're like asking me questions that I don't know the answers to, like what's his blood type. I'm like, why? And he like security comes takes him away, and I'm like trying to go after him, and these random nice strangers are like, you are also too fucked up. You should not go out there. You can't go out there. He has to just roll the dice with Ybor City Police. And shouts out to our men in blue in Tampa, Florida, in Ybor City, because they just took care of our boy, and they were like, oh, we've seen it. We've seen it a few times.
Well,
Dorain,
that
you
night, I
ever work with
remember
night?
I had driven to Dan's house at like $15, and I had gotten two Four Locos, downed them. Dan's like, "Yo, we got a handle of rum in the fridge that we bought the other night." I was like, "Shit, let's get to it." Killed that with two Four
Degenerate.
Locos in the system. It was,
Degenerate.
bro. No night starts off good when the Four Loco is inserted into it.
No, and this was I think after they changed the recipe because like kids were literally having like going to cardiac arrest on it. So it was like still just malt liquor and energy drink. They probably just like added or took out one little bit of an ingredient. So like
Bro,
Dorain is, dude.
I left my keys at Dan's house. We Ubered there. Dan's in the hospital. The dogs are at the house. I gotta go home. I gotta find a way in to
You
my
gotta
house
break
and
in,
his house to get the dogs and find
dude.
Dan. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Dorain that night, like he started that mission on like hard mode, like on expert mode, and they were just like, okay, hard mode is you start blacked out, and then you have to do all this stuff, and like now you have to find out which hospital, dude. It's fucking crazy. Cheers to Dorain, dude, fucking being the hero that night. And Dan is alive and well. You know,
Oh, he
we
is,
have
bro.
all.
He came down here and we accidentally threw his keys in the trash at the beach, and that was an entire episode of like a week long because now he lives in Gainesville. So he
The
had to
swamp,
call the dealership, find a way to the dealership, find a way all the way back to Gainesville. He had to pay almost, I think it was almost like $700 or something for a new key. So he had to rent a car, go back there, drive all the way to the dealership because he had to go to the dealership where he got his car so he can get a
dude.
new key. Then he came down here the next weekend because we were going to watch I forget what UFC it was, and he had forgotten the spare key to let the babysitter in for the dogs, so he had to drive all the way back home. But it was one of the worst weeks for him probably,
Yeah,
besides that one night.
that's kind of some Dan shit. Like we all have our own like classic Dorain, classic Klein, classic Chris, classic Duran, Dan. Like his classic shit is like always really inconvenient and sometimes life threatening. Clearly, um, bro, we got some motherfucking awards to give out. Let me pull these up real quick. Did you take a look at that list last night?
I did, man. You got some good stuff on there.
I got some
I
good
think there was
stuff.
one category in there. I was like, I don't know. So one of these
Oh,
categories, I got two fighters on.
okay. I'm assuming the I don't know category was female fighter of the year because there's so
Yeah,
many options to pick.
because
No, I'm
because I
sorry.
mean, if you look at like the women's divisions and
Yeah,
you look at some of the top contenders, they all fought just one time a year. So it's really hard to decide. who
Yeah,
is the female fighter of the year.
Zhang Wei Li too. Like my girl, my baby girl. She like did not. Where'd you go? Hold on, we'll go here. Let's see. Do we have a layout for this? Well, we'll have to make one. We'll just
I
do
think she
this.
only fought one
There we
time.
go.
She fought UFC 300 against Yao Nan,
Yeah,
and that was it. A crazy performance, good, really good fight on her
yeah.
behalf.
I was surprised by Yan Jiannan, who like I liked. You know, I'd make jokes about like the female divisions, but like they're actually, when they're good, they're fucking incredibly good. And I think that like it gets kind of a bad rap on MMA Twitter, but like what the fuck, you know who doesn't? But and also like not always undeserving. Like sometimes you watch some of these fights and they're incredibly bad. You know, there's it's like I'm trying to think like a Carla Esparza fight. Like, and I love Carla. I do like Carla Esparza. I thought she was cool. And like some of her fights are like they just are boring. It's okay to say that, but like then you get some like Zhang Weili, Joanna Jacek that goes 5 rounds, and Joanna's got like the fucking lump on her head, and you're like, oh, they just changed each other's lives, you know. And then you get like guys fights too that are, I mean, any fight can be fucking boring. Like look at Bo Nickel, Paul Craig.
Yeah, definitely not the best. And you get a Yoel Romero, Izzy. Izzy's got a few stinkers.
Izzy's got a few stinkers. Came I think he gets more hate than he deserves, but like definitely had a few stinkers that I was like, damn, I didn't even see this coming because like his rise to like middleweight, and then like I think he had after the Yoel Romero fight too, like I think he had just fought Costa,
Yeah. Or no, no,
and
no.
that was like
That was after.
that was after. Okay, yeah, wait,
Yeah, because
let's pull up Izzy's
he
record
fought
here.
Yoel when they had the live crowd, and then he fought Paulo at the Apex.
No, no, he didn't, because that was a while ago. Because hold on, I'm pulling up his record right now. Oh, I think I can hear myself on yours. Make sure it's not like a speaker or something. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, bitch, I was. Oh, oh. Wait a minute. You are right. I was right in that. No, yeah, you're right in both, dude. He fought Costa after, and it was 2020. Dude, what? I thought that
Yeah.
happened like in 20. Damn. Okay. Yeah. See, he fights Gastelum. Let me share this tab. He fights Gastelum, Whitaker, then Yoel, and then Paulo Costa. Damn. I did not remember that. I watched that with my friend in his apartment. We were masked up, of course. We were masked up, double masked, sitting 6 feet apart, and it was just the two of us, and we're watching. I remember, yeah, it had no. You could hear the leg kicks on Costa, which was probably because they had no
Yeah.
crowd or something. Yeah, and
Those
he
were some
fuck.
brutal leg kicks, man.
That was wild too, because like they were both undefeated, and like Costa had like I had no inclination that he was gonna get like bombed on. Like I thought it was gonna be like a war, kind of like Gastelum and Izzy, and it was not.
Yeah, it wasn't close at all.
No, Costa
Costa
got
couldn't get any
fucked.
offense going. He couldn't implement his game plan, which is usually heavy pressure, back him up, and start
Yeah.
letting those combos fly, and couldn't do it.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's easier to do that against like Johnny Hendricks, who's coming off of juice, rather than like Israel Adesanya. Um, damn, yeah. Who did you have in that? You had Izzy going into that, right?
Into the Paulo fight,
Yeah,
yeah, I had Izzy. I thought it would go to a decision. I thought it was going to be a war.
I did too. And then he humped him after. And then I mean, then that was probably like, was that the last fun? Oh yeah, because then he fights Blockowitz. Yeah, and then he fights Vittori.
That was
Was
a stinker.
whatever. Yeah, Blockowitz was like I wouldn't rewatch it like for the lulls, but like I remember when they were fighting, I was at least like entertained. Like, oh shit, something could happen. But like, it ended up being decision. Marvin Vittori, did that do anything for you?
No, stinker, bro.
Yeah.
That was that and that Cannonier fight. I fell asleep during the entrance. Woke back up.
Damn.
I was watching the fight with a buddy. He woke me back
Damn.
up for the fight, and I was just nodding in and out. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Damn. Yeah. The Robert Whitaker rematch was good. I love dude. Robert Whitaker might be my favorite middleweight. I go back and forth actually, but like, um, I wanted Robert to win, and a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, Robert, that was a robbery. Robert should have won." And I was like, as a fan of Rob, Nah, I had it like 3-2. Izzy.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how Rob could have got the fight. I don't think he did enough to beat the champ.
No,
I'm not a big Izzy guy. I definitely like
no.
Rob. Definitely one of my favorites out there right now. But I
Yeah,
don't think he
dude, who
did enough
doesn't
to
like
beat
Rob?
the champ. Because to me,
Yeah,
when you fight the champ, you have to beat the champ. You can't be getting these razor close decisions against the champ.
I get it. I know how that's how like scoring works too, where it's like it kind of sucks because they can't. They have to just write this stuff down while they're watching it, and it's like, man, you might need a replay for that. Like, I don't know. I think they should give him an extra like 30 seconds in between rounds or something, but it's hard to do. And I'm not necessarily of the opinion that you have to like really take it from the champ. Like if it's like Carla and Rose 2, I think, where it was like if Rose had been the challenge, or if Rose had been the champ, and then Carla had, and like just the positions were switched, but they had the same scorecards,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, Carla won that. It wasn't crazy. She didn't put her in danger too much or anything, but like, fuck it, give it. Like she fought better, but like, I don't know. I also didn't think that like Johnny Hendricks beat GSP though, and I know a lot of people think that's a thing.
I'm with you on that. I had GSP going into that fight, and just going into the fifth round, the fight was so close, and just the way that the judges were that night, I'm like, one takedown, whether he gets control time or not, the next takedown's going to win this fight, and GSP
Yeah,
got it.
dude, GSP. Say, and like Johnny Hendricks was knocking people the fuck out. I had a feeling Hendricks might lose that fight too, though, because his fight before that was against Carlos Condit. I don't know if you remember that one. Great fight. Um, but like Condit was really bad against wrestlers, and like Johnny Hendricks, like you thought he was gonna fucking beat Condit soundly, and then like he just kind of didn't, and you're like you beat him for sure, but like it wasn't anything fucking crazy, and like that was Johnny Hendricks like juiced and like fucking knocking Martin Campman across the fucking cage like with one punch. Perfect. All right, let's get these. I'm gonna add some. I'll add some cool little title cards here for our actual awards, so that way it looks a little bit nicer in the edit. But let's go down the list here. I got my phone in front of me. Let's take a look at these bad boys. The end of the year awards for the Fightcraft podcast, of course, with the only guest that like I would also Dorain, first guest of the Fightcraft podcast.
Hey, it's an honor.
You made it. You made it, bro. Call your mom. Call your wife. Bust out the red panties. Say we did it, baby. Of course, dude. Couldn't have this with anybody else because we talk UFC the most. End of the year awards. So we have the categories are fight of the year, knockout of the year, submission of the year, male fighter, female fighter of the year. You got the usual suspects, and then we got two extra special ones. The Old Dog of the Year award for a veteran MMA fighter who still has that dog in him, someone who's older, who's still getting those submissions or those knockouts or just having great fucking performances. And then we got a very special award. I had to do an award in your honor, dude. The Dorain Miller Hate Salt of the Year award. The Hater of the Year, which I only couldn't use because it was on Chappelle's show, but like the salt. What kind of salt? Is it Himalayan? Is it garlic salt? No, dude, it's fucking hate salt, and it's Dorain Miller special. He fucking sprinkles it on every opinion that I have. What's his best dish? Oh, the DC Cormier with extra hate salt, dude.
Was not a DC fan. Still not a DC fan. Team Jones. John Jones
Dorain,
is my favorite fighter. I don't care what
as-
he does outside the octagon.
aside from John Jones, Dorain is actually a self-hating African American, if I might say so. Like he just
This
does
guy.
not like any black fighters other than John Jones and Mike Perry. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, so yeah, dude. That and the Dorain Miller Hate Salt of the Year award was for a current MMA fighter that you just loved or that you just love to hate, inside or outside of the cage, right? There could be someone who like has great performances in the cage, and then you're like, dude, they open their mouth or they push it. Like I just hate them. Like Sean, that's Colby for a lot of people. That's Sean Strickland for a lot of people. Kevin Lee, because they just have this wide. They're like, I could beat some. I could expose Khabib. I see holes in his game. Okay, so fight of the year. Fight of the year. What do you got?
My fight of the year, I did put some notes down here, so I'm going with
Dude, go.
the UFC Noche Zellhuber versus Ribovich fight. That
That
fight was fire. I feel like that's one of those fights that Dana was looking for
yeah.
to set that card off. It started off a little slow in round one. I literally just rewatched this last night. Started off a little slow in round one, and then round two to three, they are just swinging, trying to take each other out. That is my fight of the year. If
That's your
if
fight of
you've
the year,
never
dude.
watched UFC and you want to try to get a friend into it, that's a fight you throw on.
Dude, that was a wild one, and like that card needed that fight, man. That card was like pretty okay card. It wasn't like the worst card I've seen. It wasn't like UFC Brooklyn when like Chris Cyborg was winning, but like wasn't the crazy like it just wasn't anything like wild. And then like that fight comes on, and I'm like, oh shit, dude. I hope they're getting more than like 12 and 12. Like I hope they're getting good money for this because they are taking fucking years off of their fucking life. Dude, that's a good one. That's a good one. I had a different. I wanted to go a different way. I, it was really hard to not give Max Holloway like every fucking category that I could this year. And I saw one of my teammates, and then I think I saw a couple of like websites too. We're putting Holloway versus Gaethje as fight of the year. I was kind of confused by it because like it's not like Gaethje got. I would say he got outclassed, but it wasn't like Gaethje got outclassed like he had nothing. Like he had some good answers for Holloway, but like it didn't seem. I like a good even back and forth for like my fight of the year criteria.
Yeah.
What's your like criteria for fight of the year? Just the fun? Is it like biggest oh shit moments?
No, just a fun fight because like an oh shit moment that could come out of nowhere. Just like on that UFC Tampa card with who's it, Dustin Jacoby with that knockout.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't
yeah,
like this crazy barn burner, but it just came out of nowhere. But for
yeah.
me, it's just a fun back and forth fight. That's pretty much all that makes a fight of the year for me.
Perfect. Okay.
Keep
I had.
nice and
Oh,
simple.
yeah, nice and simple, dude. Just a good. I like a little back and forth. If it's like outclassing somebody and it's still a pretty good fight, like Holloway and Gaethje, maybe I'll make another category for that for next year. For like maybe like best performance or something, and like it'd be crazy how many times you'd have Max Holloway's in that if you take a look, dude. Mine was I was torn because I wanted to give it to like some boys who we know. I Zellhuber and Ribovix, whatever. That was definitely on my radar too, because like, and I didn't remember their names. I just remembered the sphere card, and I was like, there was a fight on that was fucking wild, and that's how good those guys were too. Had a tough time not doing Makachev Poirier, but I hate Islam Makachev for what he's doing to my favorite fighters, so I was like, fuck that. Um, I had I honorable mention Chandler versus Oliveira too. But I had my fight of the year is Matej Gamrot versus Dan Hooker,
Oh,
and
that was
that
going to
was
be my honorable mention right after you. That was
yes,
good.
that was a good one, dude. And like a split decision too, which like I hate split decisions, but like man was that good. I mean, I'm trying to
Gamrot
find
came
some like
out firing, dropped Hooker round one, and then after he dropped Hooker, Hooker just woke up and then just started
yeah,
putting
dude,
the heavy pressure on him.
dude, that shit was. Hooker has had so many like moments too where you're like randomly really good fights, like the Jalen Turner fight. I was like, damn, I kind of thought one of them, who I didn't know who was going to win, but I was like, one of them is probably going to win like either quickly or like really impressively. And like that fight was back and forth too. But I mean, Gamrot has that wrestling. I mean, he's almost like a Michael Chandler. Um, and like Gamrot, I thought was going to really be able to like wrestle fuck Hooker a lot more. And like they definitely spent some time like in round two, Gamrot like had him down kind of like in the middle of the cage too. It wasn't against the fence and like inside control in I think mount or half guard or just trying to like he's all over him like a fucking wet blanket. And like Hooker was able to like kind of withstand it and then like I think he got like he got like butterfly guard. He starts like working himself to the fence. He gets up, and then like even he's on top of like Gamrot, kind of like guys has him like in turtle or something, and like that was just a fucking gritty, dirty fight. I think blonde Dan Hooker is OP. I think he's on the way to the championship for sure. Like Hooker was constant pressure, even in the face of like a really offensive wrestler like Gamrot. Like that's kind of what you want to when you're fighting a wrestler, because if you give any of that ground up, like you're kind of like always, if you're walking backwards, if you're letting them pressure you, like you're always giving them, you're always gonna be like, how do I put this? Like if I'm moving back, if I'm shooting on you for a takedown, you want to go to the side, or you want to go forward, you want to sprawl, you want to like go back far enough that you can just disengage entirely. But like if you imagine like we have a rope connecting us at the waist, like wherever they moved, Gamrot was within range for the takedown. And like Hooker had great sprawls in that one. He had great, he definitely got taken down too. Like Gamrot has great chain wrestling, and like a couple of fence grabs by my boy Dan Hooker, but great defense. And then like to be walking down a wrestler is to like kind of take away what they have best. Of course they can like defensively shoot on you, like maybe you walk into a takedown, that fucking sucks. And like I think Hooker even did that once on a single leg Gamrot got. But like props to him, dude, because the way that you have to fight a wrestler like that is also like kind of a dangerous way, because you could be walking into their shots, you could be walking into their punches or something, or their strikes. Like you could take a fucking knee to the face like Beneil Dariush against our boy Barboza. But Hooker, like great sprawls, great defense, great reactions. And Gamrot, like it was a fucking battle too. Like Gamrot did not do the GSP where he's only looking to wrestle. Like boy was scrapping on the feet, and I thought that was
Yeah, he tagged
really
him on the
fucking
feet.
impressive. Yeah, a few times.
Kind of set the tone for that fight. Who do
A
you
few
like
times.
for Hooker next? Who do you want to see him fight next?
Let's take a look at the rankings real quick. I had a fight. I did not want him to fight Michael Chandler, and I know a few people were looking at that one. Let's take a look at the rankings real quick. I got these up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Your boy Bilal Muhammad right there. I'll minimize this so you don't have to see his ugly face. There, no. Okay, so we got Hooker coming in at number 6. Do we want? I matchmake like I'd consider Dan Hooker a contender. I would matchmake like the contenders towards like what's gonna get them to the belt next. I like Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje.
Ooh, that's fight of the year contender right there.
Right there. And that's a rough one, because that's one of those fights where like, you know, where guys have fights and like it visibly, like as the fight's going on, you're like they're not going to be the same after this fight. Like Carlos Condit, Robbie Lawler, I mean Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier, right? Like I feel like
Yeah,
when those
he
guys
went on a little
fought,
bit of a skid after that,
he did.
but now
He
he's
did.
back.
And it made me sad. He dyed his hair blonde, dude, and now he's back. He got a crazy chest tattoo, and now he's back. If we were just going for fun, I would be like, dude, Fiziev, Moicano, or Chandler would be amazing to see with Dan Hooker, because you know they're both gonna come and bring it. I still think Chandler and Hooker would be a good fight, like the rematch, because I really like that. Really set the tone for how much I hate Michael Chandler. Was his first fight in the UFC. He just catches Hooker like 2 minutes in. I would like to see Dan Hooker fight Gaethje. I know they're calling for the Poirier rematch. Poirier, I think he said he's got one fight left. He's going to retire after. I say send that boy off with like a good fight that's very winnable for him, so he can retire, hang his hat up, and then like walk out. You know, like I wouldn't want to see Dustin Poirier's last fight be Dan Hooker, because that like would probably just be another fucking war, and like I don't want that for my boy.
I mean, there's no easy fights in that division. There's no easy send-off fight for Poirier. I mean, Fiziev needs a fight.
Fiziev needs a fight. Benoit Saint Denis needs a fight too.
I think he has one coming up.
Oh, does he? Okay, let me check that real quick. But like, what do you think about this? Like, if Paddy Pimblett was higher ranked, Paddy Pimblett Dan Hooker is a great fight.
That'd be a fun one. Moicano keeps saying that he's easy money, but I think that's a fun matchup.
That's a fun matchup.
Fighting Beneil soon.
And I think Yeah, he is on that Armin Islam card. I think Hooker would take Moicano's lunch money. I think it'd be fun for the first round or two, and then Hooker starts piecing him up. What do you
You
think? How
think
do you
so?
think that
I
fight goes down?
I don't know. I think Moicano can get it to the ground, and once you're on the ground with Moicano, he's attacking submissions. Whereas Gamrot
Yeah,
kind of wants to pound you out, Moicano's attacking submissions. He can still pound you out down there with his ground and pound, but I don't know. Styles make fights. That's a fun one. I don't know who would win that fight.
yeah. I
I feel
would
like the
have
lines
Hooker.
might be even on that too, if
Lines
that were
might
to
be
ever get
even.
booked.
I would have Dan Hooker in that fight only because the dude is like he's so good at being active on the ground, like against wrestlers. I actually would be interested to see how he goes against Moicano, who has more of like a submission based, like jujitsu kind of grappling game, as opposed to like that top pressure control game, like a Gamrot. But I would have Hooker in that at the end of the day. But who the fuck knows? I think Hooker should fight. I mean, he could fight the loser of Armin and Islam to kind of tee him up to be like the number one contender fight. But like, if we're going by like contenders, it should probably be Gaethje versus Hooker.
What
Gaethje,
about Charles?
Oliveira. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Oliveira versus Hooker because Gaethje's coming off a loss. Charles coming off of a win. Had the title fight against Islam and then he had to pull out. If you're like the contenders to me are Dan Hooker and Charles Oliveira because Gaethje's coming off a loss. Poirier already fought Islam and lost, and Holloway, I mean, coming off that loss, and he's coming off of a 145 fight. Like Holloway Hooker would be great too, but like I'd rather have Holloway get another win under his belt at lightweight before he takes on Hooker. I think the two top contenders right now are Oliveira and Hooker. Obviously, removing Arman Tsarukyan from the conversation there, and I would just have to have fucking. I would have to have like Xanax or something because I love both those guys so much, and it's like they're both blonde. They're both like Dan's like more of a striker, but with like that slick submission game, and then Oliveira is like the submission artist, and then like has just kind of like become this like bomb striker, and really fun to watch too. I don't know who I'd have in that. Who would you have in that?
I'm going Charles, man.
I am
I
too.
feel
I
like
probably
Charles, he has more tools to beat Hooker.
He's so fucking crafty. He's come so far. But he also like I don't think he has that thing where like people were saying he breaks, but he definitely gets dropped. Like he takes a lot of and it's like that kind of you pay the toll for how many wars you get into and like having a good chin, like very like that comes up real quickly. It's not like, oh, he's
Yeah,
slowly getting like that's like Gaethje. Like Gaethje had all these wars and you were like, I wonder when the brakes are going to fall off and then like Max slept him.
sparked him, bro.
Um
That was nasty.
Sparked him. That was a gross one. I was sad. But yeah, so those are our fight of the years. KO of the year, my friend. You want to go first on this one?
This one, this one might have been the hardest one. It
Really?
was the the three that I was looking at was Shara Bullet versus with his double back fist.
That
I
double
forget the
back
guy's
fist,
name. It
dude.
started with a P.
Let's
Perosian
check.
or
Petrosian, yeah. Wasn't
Petrosian.
Giorgio. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
the double back. It was
Petrosian.
between the double back fist, Holloway with the walk off KO with 1 second left, and
Point
Vinish
the fucking.
Oliveira with the flying knee after hitting that low kick on Sopa. Hit him with the
Oh,
low
yeah.
kick, hit him with the
Dude.
left hand. Sopa had no idea where he was, and by the time he got his wits about him for a second, flying knee.
Dude, that
But
was a
I
great. Yeah.
but my KO of the year is Vinish Oliveira. Do it
Yeah?
with that flying knee. That was crazy. I think that 135 division has a new contender, not a new contender, but a new prospect to watch in Vinish Oliveira. He fought a few times in in this past year in 2024, and then
Dude, that.
I would go
Wild.
Vinish Oliveira, Holloway, and then Shara Bullet with the double back fist.
Damn. Topuria nowhere there for you.
He knocked out one of my favorite guys.
He knocked out like and like I was coming around on
Oh,
Volk too, I was like, all right, fuck it, respect. I did think Holloway beat Volk in the second fight, and I will. That is one that I do think was a bullshit
I
decision,
think
but
Ursay got a decent one in there too.
Usyk had a great one. Um, and then I'm looking at who was it? Who was that? There was another dude. Do you remember this Asian dude? I can't play it right now because we'll get taken down. But like, do you remember this Asian dude, Zhang Mingyang, and he fought this guy Ozzy Diaz, and he hit like an elbow as he stepped as the other guy stepped in, and he like intercepted him with that elbow. It was on that Macau card that our girl Xing Mi fucking head kicked that girl into oblivion.
Bro,
Um,
her parents had no idea she was even a fighter. That was
bro,
wild.
that was amazing. Let me see if I can find it. Like that was amazing for a few reasons. That was actually like I was considering that for contender of the year too, because I was just like, dude, this is absolutely insane shit right here. She got her opponent got taken out in a fucking like neck brace and everything, and she's just like, my parents don't know that I'm a professional fighter, so I hope they don't see this. And also, I'm a doctor, and that looks really bad. Like fuck, and like, fucking like in her like little meek Chinese voice. I'm Chinese. I can make those. I can make those accents. And Dorain has the C word pass, so he can do those as well. Dude, Xing Mi like knocked people the fuck out. That was incredible. I wish I could play it, dude. Let's let's show this fucked up picture here, real quick. From MMA Junkie, this one. Oh my god.
Oh, bro, that was a brutal knockout.
Girl was uh like stiff, like feet in the air, kind of like doing like the testify. Dude, that was wild shit right there. Um, that was a good one. Okay, so my knockout of the year is I mean it's the only I knew it was knockout of the year the second I watched it, bro. It was Holloway and Gaethje. It had
Yeah,
to be that. It was always going to
it's
be that.
tough not to pick that.
I'm surprised you didn't do it. I really thought that was going to be like everybody's knockout of the year. I saw people giving Topuria knockout of the year,
I
and
mean,
it made me
I
extra
love a
sad.
good flying knee, bro. So when I saw that, and just the fact that Sopa had, it took him a second, and he's looking around, and he's like, oh, and by the time he realizes it, lights out.
Lights the fuck out, dude. That was
That was a nasty
yeah,
low
and like
kick he got hit with too, and then that
yeah.
left. It was a nice finishing sequence.
Was he? I think he was like. Was he kind of like? Was the flying knee like against the cage too, or like close to the
Yeah,
cage?
because he
I
sent
feel
him
like
flying across the cage with
yeah,
the calf kick, the left hand, and then came up with that flying knee.
dude. That Dutch kickboxing special, low kick, high hook. Dude, that was wild. With Poirier, with Holloway though, like if if like a knockout submission, if like a fight has a good story behind it, like it hits me right here. And like the story of Holloway going into that fight was okay. He went up to 155 before against Poirier, and like he seemed like he got outgunned, like firepower. Like he would hit Poirier for sure, but like Poirier would damage him when he hit Holloway, and like Holloway,
Yeah,
it was a respectable effort, and so you're just like, damn, he's going up again to fight like maybe the only other guy who's as scary or scarier than Poirier in Justin Gaethje, and like Poirier had beaten him. Gaethje didn't have the win on his record at that time over Poirier, and like you were just like, dude, this is not a good look. You're coming up from 45, you're still small. Like I don't know.
but that's the thing. But that, and you would hear like a lot of fighters, they didn't understand why people were counting out Holloway because like he's very big for 145, and he's kind of
Yeah,
big for 55 too, so he'll fit right in.
yeah, especially like
But
more
that
time goes and he fills out.
Yeah, and if you really like look at Gaethje's like resume and like the people he's fought outside of like James Vick and Barbosa,
Mm,
which everybody knocks out James Vick. That's just part of
yeah,
being in that division at that time.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Gaethje doesn't really knock people dead with one shot. So I really liked Holloway's chances in there. I thought he'd be faster, and he would just kind of match Gaethje's pace, and I felt like that speed was going to be the X factor.
Yeah, I thought his like cage craft, his fight craft, was gonna be the thing that like if he did it right, it was gonna be a really rough night for Gaethje, and like that was kind of what happened too for those first few rounds. Like obviously he got that spinning back kick, and I think that fucked Gaethje's nose up early. And like once that happens, like even if they're still there cognitively, like that makes it so much harder. But like Holloway was kind of like angling out, keeping his distance, piecing him up with combos. What I didn't expect from those were like them to have the effect, like the damage on Gaethje that they had, and you're like,
Yeah,
dude, he's actually like doing even better than I thought. And then for it to end the way it does, dude, 10 seconds left, points to the ground, does the Holloway special. And like we've seen him do that before, have never seen him knock someone dead with that. He's coming off of that overhand punch against Korean Zombie, rest in peace, like who just face first on the canvas, you know. But like, you know, when he fought Ricardo Lamas, he points and they just kind of swing and bang, and like it's sloppy, it's fun, but like nothing's really landing super cleanly. And like 1 second left, just fucking sleeps Gaethje, sleeps Justin Gaethje, who's like,
that was wild. I had
damn,
a few
dude,
friends over for that one, and we, I'm sure that we woke up some of the neighbors. We were going crazy when
how
that
crazy,
happened.
dude. How loud did that get? Dude, I was watching that with my girlfriend, and I don't think she had watched a live fight with me before, and so she was already like, I'm going like, oh shit, oh fuck, and she's like, Jesus Christ, what are you? But like that, and so I had tried to have her watch fights with me before. Like it's like kind of like a girlfriend test, and I'm like, hey, let's watch like some of my favorite fights, and I'll put on like Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald too, and she's like kind of interested. She's like, you know, definitely paying attention, definitely also looking at her phone, kind of doing her thing, whatever. She's enjoying it. It's very much a thing she's doing for me. But then we watched this, like she was glued to this one, and she had the same reaction I had when Holloway knocked him out, because like all the tension that built up, and then for it to end that dramatically, even she was like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And like that's how
Yeah,
you know it's a good, like that's, you were talking earlier about like if people didn't watch UFC and you had to show them one, like that's a good one for me.
yeah,
Like
that's a good one.
that's a
I mean,
great
same
one.
thing. Like the wife will sit down, she'll watch the fights with me. I know that she doesn't really care all too much for them, but what we started doing was download that Hard Rock app, put some money in there. So now when your money's on the line and you know that
Exactly.
you could win, she pays more attention. So every fight night, she has like her whole system. She's up on the bookie. She's doing way better than I am.
Yo, dude, we
Like
gotta
it
have the wife, we gotta have the girls on for one show and just
makes
have
it
them like talk
makes
about
it
it.
more exciting for them. I've learned.
For sure. It'll make anybody like, dude. I was a Drakkar Close fan for 5 minutes when I had my money on him because I was like, he's not bad. And then he walked out, and I was like, he looks soft and put. Fuck, dude, I'm gonna lose $50 right now, and I did, and it was bad. Fuck Drakkar Close, but you know that's all I'll say. But yeah, that was a great one. Knockout of the year. I had Max Holloway. So that, I mean, you had was it Vinicius something, I
Vinicius
can't remember.
Oliveira versus
Oliveira,
Soka.
right?
That
Yep.
it was hard
Yep, that
not
was a
to
good
put
one.
an Alex knockout in there. Alex Pereira. It was tough because
Yeah,
he fought a bunch and he pretty much finished everybody.
yeah. He fought Hill this year too, right? Was
Yeah,
it? It was on the Holloway card.
on UFC 300. Yeah, he was
Yeah, yeah.
two fights after. It was the main event.
Damn, dude.
And then
That was
he
a
hit
good
him with
one.
the meme of the
Yep. Yep. Dude.
Hill still salty to this day.
Hill is still salty to this day, and that is, we're gonna talk about that in a second here. Um, yeah, the Pereira Yuri knockout, that like head kick that he just kind of like stepped up and
That
placed
was
there. That was crazy. When I was in Key West with my girl at that time, I was like looking up updates. I'm like, oh shit. Moving on, moving on. We gotta get my boy out here for movie night. Submission of the year. Who you got?
submission of the year. This one hurt. This one hurt.
Why?
But when I was talking about it with Dan, just the way that it happened, it was so nasty. It has to go to Islam versus Dustin. Pretty much
Damn,
ankle
dude.
picked him, spun him around, and that was it. That was so nasty.
That was a
I was
rough
like,
one,
I'm not a
dude.
big Islam fan, but when I saw that, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that that was nice.
To choke out guys like Dustin and Oliveira, and also like sometimes they're holding a choke, they don't quite have it, or they're holding it and the guy's kind of like got enough, he's toughing it out. Like Islam's squeeze must be insane to choke out Oliveira and Poirier, like in like the just like surgical, like just cutting through their guard. And
Yeah,
like these guys are both black belts in jiu-jitsu. Dustin, like really good submission artist, but like, and obviously Oliveira, like maybe the best, but like Islam must have such a fucking squeeze.
and I know everybody was liking that the Hamzat submission over Whitaker, but I listen to Whitaker's podcast. Shout out to Rob. And
Of
he
course.
talks about like his bottom teeth and his teeth were all just like messed up, and they were pretty much like fucked up anyway. So like
Yeah.
any amount of pressure would have done that. So I was like,
Now you see the picture after
yeah,
of
his teeth were
Whitaker's
all
teeth.
messed up after,
His
but
teeth were
now
like pushed in after.
Rob's got a new set of teeth, got the veneers.
Yeah.
I
Dude, that was a
really wanted I
wild.
wanted to see what that fight would look like if it went 5 rounds. I think Rob would have TKO'd him. I think that Hamzat does gas out because
I do too,
you
man.
can't keep that pace that he puts on people. You cannot keep that up for 25 minutes. And if you do,
Dude.
you might be on something, Marap.
Yeah, like
But,
after
you know,
after 3 rounds, Hamzat's kind of like looking, Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, like those guys kind of dragged him, and I kind of thought, dude, I thought Whitaker was so defensively sound as a fighter, like that I was like, there's no way Hamzat's gonna do what he did, and like he just fucking did it. And that one, that was the Poirier Islam one hurt for me. That one really hurt for me. And I almost gave it to Hamzat for that one. I also almost gave it to Poirier and or to yeah Poirier to Islam for that choke over Poirier. Also almost gave it to Pantoja for what he did to Asakura. But
oh,
my also I
my
wanted to
runner up was Patty over Bobby Green.
Bobby Green, that triangle armbar
Yeah.
dude, that was really good. I think it was a triangle at the end, but like that was really good too. Um, Also, this is Robert Whitaker's fucking teeth, dude.
Whew,
Look at that. That's
fucking A.
brutal. What happened? Hamzat Chimaev, dude, my boy, looking bad there, down bad. Sucks, man. Sucks. My submission of the year was Vicente Luque against that guy that was the
Uh,
replacement for Nick
Themba
Diaz.
Garimbo?
Garimbo, yes, dude.
Yeah.
Um, so slick. I love. I'm like a long, lanky guy, so like in jujitsu, like those like you gravitate towards whatever your fucking like body attributes make you really like kind of naturally a little bit better at. And like Darce chokes and anaconda chokes, dude, that's my shit. Triangle chokes off my back because I got the long, skinny limbs, and like the Darce and the anaconda kind of work in tandem. Like they're both two sides of the opposite coin, and I loved his like so quick. I mean, you want to talk about a squeeze? Like Garimbo was out, and it it was technical, it was beautiful, and I think this is a little bit more biased. Like it wasn't the most impressive based on who he did it on. Like Hamza and Islam, like who they submitted, those are legit fucking guys. Garimbo's pretty good. I briefly looked him up a little bit before that fight went down because I had my eyes on that fight because it was Nick Diaz and Vicente at first, and definitely a decent fighter. I mean, he's in the fucking UFC, but like not nowhere near like the feather in the cap of like submitting Robert or Dustin. And but I just thought it was fucking beautiful. It was one of my favorite chokes too. And he hit
You
that
saw
roll,
his
the anaconda roll.
interview. He said that like his like cousins and family members were cheering after he got choked out. They
No,
were back in his home
what?
country cheering. Yeah,
Oh,
I was like
that's
that is all sorts of messed up.
that is messed up. That is also what I would expect. Like maybe after like if I got choked out like that, like maybe give me a couple minutes. But like that is also immediately what like you and me and like maybe some of my other friends would be like, damn, bro. So how come you couldn't just stand up? And I'll be like, yep, okay. Um, but yeah, dude, and I love how they set that up too. They like exchanged crosses, and like Vicente slipped Garimbo's, but Garimbo like walked into Vicente and drops him, and how quick, dude, snatches up the neck and hits the gator roll, and then just squeezes him, kind of traps his glove in there, so he can't even really like fight the choke. It was beautiful. So I got Vicente Luque's anaconda choke over Garimbo on that one. Male fighter of the year, who you got?
This one was tough. This one was also tough. It could have gone to Ilya. I had Ilya as my runner up. He beat Volk.
Yeah,
Regardless of you know almost a quick turnaround for Volk because after he just got KO'd by Islam at like the end of October and then turned around and I think it was like beginning or like mid February
yeah,
he turned around and fought somebody as dangerous as Ilya. So that's not a lot of time to heal because by the time like you start recovering, now you're back in camp getting ready for another fight, you're cutting weight, you're back to it.
yeah, yeah.
And then he knocked out one of my favorite fighters in Holloway. That one hurt. Because Holloway was looking so good. I feel like if somebody
Holloway
could
looks
actually implement
untouchable.
Holloway's game plan and not get caught, I think they would have a really good shot at beating Ilya. But
Yeah.
my fighter of the year goes to Alex Fajeda. He took multiple fights, short notice, saving card after card, putting on
Yeah.
crazy performances. How do you not give it to him? Stepping up short notice every time. Stepped up
Saved it.
against Jamal Hill, and then I think he
Yeah.
took the Yuri fight on short notice again, and
Yeah,
then
that
he
was him
fights
saving a
Khalil
card
Roundtree.
too. Yeah,
So
Khalil. Yeah, did Khalil Roundtree deserve that title shot?
no, no.
Okay, I didn't think so.
But what
Honor.
I've learned about the UFC is anytime we see these guys like number 8 or number 9 just getting a title shot, we're like, yo, what the fuck? It's
Yeah,
always a good fight.
yeah.
It's always a good fight.
It it's a rough one, dude. Like
So, but I want to see Khalil versus Jamal Hill. I feel like that would be a really fun fight.
that would be a fun fight. I'm really excited for Khalil Yuri. As you said, Khalil Jamal Hill. I was like, Jamal Hill and Yuri would be a really good fight. And then I was like, "Whoa, shit, they're fighting." I think I just said Khalil just now too. It was a mistake. I mean, Khalil and Yuri would be a great fight too. But like Jamal Hill Yuri is gonna be a fucking wild one.
And what's
Um,
crazy was when Alex fought Jamal Hill, I had picked Jamal Hill, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, is it too soon returning from that Achilles injury? Like a couple low kicks and it's done. But then I look back, I'm looking at Jamal's resume. He hits hard. He's got some good range on him. And I
yeah,
was like, you know what? I was like, Alex also gets hit. You can't really. Neither guy can afford to get hit by each other. But I feel
yeah,
Alex, he's just too. He's been doing it too long. He's too technical. I feel like he just knows what's coming.
dude,
And
he's
you
so
know,
good.
nut shot held off Herb. He said, "Nah, let me cook."
Yeah, yeah, I
Hit him
forgot
with
about that.
that left. Slept him.
And like, if anyone's going to bitch about the nut shot, like it should be Pereira, right? But like you see Jamal Hill being
Jamal
like,
Hill's
but I kicked him in,
complaining, but
dude.
but after that, Jamal Hill threw the first shot.
Yeah,
So I mean, did it
I
really affect you because you didn't mind throwing that shot after, and then you got caught?
exactly. And it's also like, dude, the fight wasn't stopped. Herb was not right there. You saw, and dude, yeah, that's enough
Hey,
time. And like,
protect yourself at all times.
exactly. And you're also like, you're a fight. Everything that's going on inside the cage. When you're in the cage in a fight, like you might really literally have no idea what's going on. Sometimes I can hear like my friends in the audience. Sometimes I can hear like fucked up shit their coach is saying, but like I can hear and see everything going on in the cage. Like if I don't, it's probably a strike that's gonna like get me really fucked up. But like he was aware like the ref was like not anywhere super close, like within like a couple of feet, or stopping the fight.
Like you got to
Um,
protect yourself. Just
dude,
just like this fight was a while ago. Like when if you watch boxing out there, when Mayweather fought like Victor Ortiz, and the ref came
yeah,
in after a headbutt, but the fight was still going, and Mayweather said, "Fuck it," and
yep,
just knocked him out. And everybody's cheap shot. I'm like,
yeah.
you got to protect yourself at all times, man.
And I think he was going. I think Ortiz was going for like a glove touch, like or whatever, and like Floyd, nope, right to it, dude. That was a good one. That was a really good one. One of the few like clean, just really exciting Floyd Mayweather like finishes or whatever. Like that was a wild one because like Floyd's real good at like styling on people. Um, so your fighter of the year, Pereira.
Pereira,
Pereira.
absolutely.
Everybody seemed to be having like Pereira or Topuria, and I had to go, dude. I almost gave it to Diego Lopez,
Oh,
but I got to go with Carlos Prates. The dude is 4 wins this year, all knockouts or TKOs, like all knockouts. I got up right now. Trevin Giles, Charles Radke, the Leech, Li Jingliang, and then Neil Magny. And I know they're not the most impressive names.
but Leach has never been knocked out until then.
Well, yeah, for sure. He's a brick. He's a big boy too. The
Yeah, he
Leech.
is.
Um, randomly, like the MMA community loves him too, and I think it's because he like had a fight that got scrapped and it wasn't his fault, and then like he got all dressed up to the nines, and like he's like,
I
I got
think it
this,
was on
I
that
got
that
this suit.
Hamzat card when Hamzat was supposed to fight. You're
Nate
let me
Diaz.
let me keep it PG. Supposed to fight your
Yeah,
boy Nate
yeah,
Diaz.
because the Leash was
Hamzat
gonna
missed
fight
his
Kevin
weight.
Holland, right?
I think he was supposed to fight Holland,
And
and then he
then
ended
they
up
had to.
fighting
Yep.
David Rodriguez. And
Yeah.
Rodriguez was supposed to be fighting, or was it Rodriguez supposed to be fighting Holland? I think it was one of them.
It was. I think it was Rodriguez. Yeah, they had to move a couple of things, and they gave
Yeah,
us Nate and Tony, which was awesome. And they gave us They
yeah. Oh, I
fed
think
Kevin
Leach. Yeah,
Holland to
Leach was supposed to
Kamzat
be fighting Tony, and then Holland was supposed to fight Rodriguez. Hamzat's supposed to be fighting Nate. Hamzat
Yep.
misses weight, doesn't
By
even
like
care that he
eight
missed weight.
pounds.
He didn't even care. They had to almost scrap the whole card. Like that was
Dude.
insane.
And also, like, I'm so glad it happened how it did because seeing what Hamzat did to Kevin Holland, I'm like, oh my god, dude, Nate Diaz. That would have taken all of the gangster stigma
Holland
away
was
from
out
Nate
there
Diaz.
scrambling for his life. I mean, shout out to Holland. But that
That was
and
also. Sorry.
even though Hamzat caught him in that triangle, like if you look at like how heavy Hamzat's breathing, that should let you know a little
Yeah,
something about his cardio.
for sure.
But
And
yeah,
that
he
one,
got him out of there quick. But mm,
dude, Holland was like starting shit with him backstage the day before too. It was fucking wild. So that was actually kind of like a fun matchup too. But dude, um, Pereira for sure. I thought on the merit that like he saved a bunch of cards, but I was like, dude, something about Carlos Paredes knocking guys out and then like going back and just smoking like a fucking Marlboro Red or something after his fight. It's so badass to me. I had to give it to Carlos Paredes. Also, like kind of like a newcomer of the year too. I know he's been in the UFC for a little bit. Or no, I guess Contender Series was 2023. But dude,
yeah,
four
so
fights
he
this
had a
year, all knockouts.
bro. Not just him, like the just that camp, the Fighting Nerds, like all of their guys, pretty
Who else is
much
in that
making
camp?
their debuts. Gene Silva had like 3 or 4 KOs in 2024, also making off of his debut.
Yep, yep.
And then
That was a
also,
wild one.
who's the Mauricio like Ruffy or Rufy, however he
Oh,
pronounces his last
Mauricio
name.
Rufy,
He
dude.
he he had a good 2024. I think he also made his debut last year.
Who did he fight recently? Was it
Uh,
Lattimore?
Lontop. He
Lawn
fought on
Top.
the John Jones card,
That was a
John Jones Stipe
great
card,
dude. That was a
and
good
he hit
win.
that no look like lead uppercut. That was sick.
Yep, yep. That was a decision too. I thought, yeah, dude, fuck. And he also fought Malarkey
Lontop's
is the
tough.
one I
He
was thinking
dropped him
of.
with that no look hook.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Um, it was a. I was thinking of Roofy versus Malarkey. That was a wild one on the
And then
Urseg
even
Pantoja
who's the
card.
other guy? I think he fights at 85. He fought Paul Craig and Candonier. Um, like Carlo Barajo or
Oh,
Brejo.
Kyle Barajo. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has like the throat tattoo.
yeah. Another
He's a
guy out
good
of there.
fighter too.
He had a good year too.
Yeah, he was
They are
really
on the
angling for an Izzy
rise.
fight. Definitely.
I think
He
Gene Silva, Carlos Prates, Mauricio Ruffy,
and
they
Kyle
are the
Barajo.
prospects to look out for. Just that whole Fighting Nerds camp.
Definitely. That's a good
I
point too.
think
Damn.
I feel like if they can, if Carlos Prates could keep his back off of the cage and just continue to go forward and keep working on that takedown defense, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
He's already a
definitely.
problem, but
He's kind of big too for
yeah,
70.
he is.
He's solid. Um, I know we got to get you out of here. Let's run through these. Female fighter of the year. Who you got?
This one was tough because we touched on it a little earlier, like the female divisions. Like there was a lot of like women's MMA fights, but like for those top contenders, nobody was really active. But
Yeah.
I'm giving it to 2 of them. I'm giving it
Okay.
to Verena. I cannot pronounce her last name. The Jar Dimbaroja. I think she is in Zhang Wei Li's division. She's got. I want to be mean. The, the eyes. I
Oh,
think
she has like the lazy
she
eye.
rattled off. She rattled off 2 wins. She beat Rebus in her last one, and I feel like she's probably gonna fight for the title next, which after
Verna
Tatiana Suarez
Jondarova.
and Zhang Wei. Yeah, her.
Yep.
I think to me, I think she's next in line for the title after Tatiana Suarez and Zhang Wei Li have their fight. I think she's next. She's pretty much the only person there. I think she would match up pretty well with Tatiana Suarez if Suarez manages to beat Wei Li.
Yeah,
And I'm giving
Tatiana's.
it to Macy Shazam.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Mace,
think she'll also fight for the title next after Pena and Harrison fight. And I think Pena
where's
may be
Macy?
hurt. So if they decide to do like an interim belt, I think she'll be fighting Kayla Harrison. And I think
Damn.
she would give Kayla Harrison some problems.
Yeah, dude, Verna Jandiroba, look at on the screen. I have it. She's in two divisions ranked. She's in strawweight and I think flyweight. She's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah,
Oh no, no, no. She's only in I was looking at the pound for pound women's, which is wild. They even have one. Yeah, Verna Jandiroba, ranked number 3 at strawweight, and then in pound for pound women, she's ranked 12, which is kind of
yeah.
wild.
So I think she matches up well with Tatiana Suarez, but I don't think she matches up too well with Wei Lee.
Yeah,
Just because if I remember correctly, she fought Dern, and I feel like Dern was blasting her with a jab,
Dern was
and that's
doing
saying
really
something
good.
because
Yeah, yeah.
Dern's stand up has not looked too well since she's
No,
left. Who was it, Jason
Perillo.
Perillo, or was it
Yeah,
Trevor Whitman she was with?
it was Perillo.
Perillo, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know why she left, but her striking hasn't looked good since she's left. And for that fight,
yeah.
she was with Perillo, and her jab was on point that night.
That should, yeah, definitely. I think that the women's division, women's fighter of the year, is definitely. It just sucks because like the women's divisions aren't as deep as men's MMA, and it's kind of because they haven't been around that long or as long as men's. But it's also like it's the facts. Like the talent pool is not as wide or deep as like the men's division is. Like a lot of women do not fight MMA. I don't think it's fucking sexist to say that. There are some that do that are fucking monsters, but like there are some that are amazing martial artists too. But like then you go down into those like maybe they have a
Yeah,
top 15. Sometimes they don't. But like okay, after 15, does it fall off? Usually, yeah. My female fighter of the year is not in the UFC. I don't know if you're familiar. Dakota Ditcheva, that chick
okay.
from PFL, dude.
The
She's a
PFL, yeah.
badass. Yeah, she's a badass. I think her mother was like a kickboxing champion. I think her mother actually used to Ray Longo used to coach her mother, and then now dude. She's bodying people. I love a long, lanky fighter, and she's got the kickboxing. I think she's like from Wales or something too, and she's just fucking putting it on bitches in the cage. I don't know who she's gonna fight next in PFL.
I mean,
I
PFL, it's not looking too good over there.
No, it's not.
There is nobody
Um,
else to fight over there.
it's wild. Like the fact, and she just fought like probably her toughest fight, which was like a UFC contender. I can't remember who. Wasn't Tatiana. It was someone else. And I mean, destroyed her. And like it was a good fighter. Let's see. Dakota Ditcheva. Let's see. Real quick. Women's flyweight. Who did she just beat? Dakota just beat Tyla Santos.
Okay, she
Our girl who
arguably beat Valentina.
I
I thought
agree.
she did.
I agree. And so like not like just some scrub, not like a fucking, she fought Paige Van Zandt and like cool, she won. Who the fuck hasn't? But like she was like piecing bitches up and she beat her in round 2, which was impressive cuz Tyler's durable as fuck.
Did you
Um
think Tyler beat Valentina when they
I
fought?
did. I did.
Yeah, same. I felt like she
I
spent like 3 or 4 rounds on her back, which
Yeah,
that's one
I
of the
was
worst places to be in besides full mount. So
cuz like we
how
hadn't
do you?
seen that from Shevchenko before where she's like having to answer the other fighters like game plan and she was like I thought I was biased because I was like, obviously, like I'm a jujitsu like grappling guy. Like I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not that controlling. Maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm just biased. Like, no, dude, I rewatched it a while ago, and I was like, dude, she kind of won that. That was fucking wild to me. But
Then
yeah, Dakota Ditcheva for me. What's up?
I had a runner up also in
Oh
Norma
shit.
Dormant after she had
Yo.
that cool fight with Aldana at UFC Noche,
Yeah.
which I think was
That
306.
that cut on Aldana,
That
dude.
almost like split her face in half. That
Dude.
pull that cut up for people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is probably one of the nastiest cuts in UFC history.
Ooh. Fuck. This is gonna be gross.
That was
Dude,
that
that
was
was a
gnarly.
and like to have that cut not stop the fight. There it is,
Yeah, there it
dude.
is.
That's brutal. brutal
That was
right there. I
nasty. And I
mean,
think it all started, I think they clashed heads and it was just like a little cut, but then she hit a jab and like pretty much split her face in half.
dude, and it's like three cuts too. Like it's like all over
It
her face.
was
Dude, that's a rough one.
that was a fun women's fight to watch too.
For sure.
On that
Yeah.
Noche card.
Yeah.
That was
See,
good.
we uh uh male feminist allies here on the Fightcraft podcast. Male feminist allies. Um Wild fight. Irene Aldana, fucking bad bitch right there. She has some great fucking elbows too. So like that was a good performance. Okay, we got two more left. We'll blast through 'em. I know you got movie time with the family coming up. Old dog of the year, the veteran MMA fighter who's still got that dog in them. Who you got?
The, this one to me was a no-brainer. I'm going with
Yeah.
Jim Miller.
Damn,
Jim
I
Miller.
had two. Jim was one of them,
He's still
bro.
doing the damn thing. I thought about Cub because he's coming off of that nice win at the UFC Tampa,
Yep,
but Jim Miller is the fact that he's just so active at his age and he's still rattling off some good wins is it's really impressive.
bro. Jim Miller fought three times in 2024. The
Yeah,
dude is like
that's
40, 41. The dude's old.
and he's at 155. That's tough.
And he's submitting people. And it's like, okay, you lost to Bobby Green.
That
I
was a
hate
fun
on
fight
Bobby Green
too.
sometimes, but
To
like,
kick off
dude,
that UFC 300 card, that he got his eye torched, but it
yeah,
was still a fun fight.
yeah. Jim, because Jim was not like getting outclassed. I mean, he was losing, but like, I had it for Bobby Green, but like, yo, he stung Bobby Green a couple
Yeah, he
times with
did.
some shots.
He stung him towards the end, I believe, or it may have been round two or round three
Oh,
where he
dude,
stung
this
him.
one last year, where he knocked out fucking Jesse Butler, dude. First round,
Yeah.
that was a fuck. I was so fucking happy. But yeah, dude, Jim Miller. Jim Miller was my. He was in my top two, and the other one is the one that you already mentioned. Is Cub Swanson, at UFC Tampa, and I wanted to give it to Jim Miller because he fought twice, and he fought three times, but he had two great wins in 2024. But Cub, dude, there is something about like the excitement of that. Maybe I just think knockouts are more fun than submissions. I don't know. Maybe I am a casual, but like something about I think it's because I was there live. It's because I was it was my first event live, and like it was in Tampa, and he was going against a hometown guy in Billy Q, and without getting into it, maybe a little bit of like saltiness on my end and my team's end for Billy Q, for him maybe not paying some of his training partners, but he awesome fighter, big fan of both guys, and Cub came in there and it was good back and forth, and Cub, dude, when he clips him and just right away, dude, Cub Swanson has that motherfucking dog in him, and like he's the kind of guy who
Yeah, he
after he
does.
retires, real martial artist, he's going to be in the gym, he's going to be training still just for the love of the game. Jim Miller too, black belt, great black belt out of I think New Jersey, and like both these guys are fucking real deserving. So I'm pretty happy about that award. Like there were no losers in that category because it was like
No, that was a great card too. The UFC Tampa card,
that was a
great
good
card.
one,
Especially you mentioned it was your first event. Hell of a card to be your first
hell of a
event.
card, dude,
Like
hell
my
of a
first
card.
event, I think it was like Orlando, Tampa area, where RDA fought Cowboy the second time for the title, and Cowboy got
Oh,
starched, and that
in
broke my heart.
in
I
like
was
a
like, what
minute.
the fuck?
Yeah, I think it was like 64 seconds or something. Yeah, dude, because Cowboy was like looking great at the time, and then RDA was fucking RDA at the time too. Like he was like, remember when he mauled Anthony Pettis, dude? I was like, dude, who the fuck is gonna
Pettis
beat
wasn't
this
the
guy?
same, and I don't
Pettis was
know if
never
it
the
was
same.
from that or from USADA knocking on that door,
I think a little
maybe
bit of
both.
both. I think a little bit of both.
But
He, f- I think
he
he like
wasn't the same after that.
he fractured Pettis' orbital and shit. Like, and I think it was like a 5 rounder too, if I recall. So
Yeah,
it was just
just a
five
five
rounds.
round, just mollywhopping.
Yeah, dude, that was a
It was
wild one.
Petty took Petty's Wheaties box and everything. Wheaties
Damn,
box
dude,
in his
I
belt.
bought those Wheaties. I bought that box of Wheaties. They weren't good. You put Wheaties in chocolate milk, it's passable. Dude, my favorite award, and we'll send you off after this one, dude. Thank you for your time. Fucking Dorain Miller Hate Salt of the Year award. Might change the name of this. Maybe the Salt Bay of the Year award. Um, who do you just love to hate, and then why? And who do you
But I
give this
feel
to?
like this guy, he just makes it really easy, and that's Marab. Marab
Mar-
Dwalishvili. That
I am
like I
surprised.
the only thing right now I could agree with Marab on is that Umar doesn't deserve that title. He didn't really deserve the Corey fight. He doesn't deserve the title, but at the same time, there's not really a contender because he already beat Sandhagen, which he
Yeah.
shouldn't have gotten that fight. But just Marab. I mean, I don't really
Damn.
care for steroids in the sport. I don't care if I feel like every fighter
Same.
is doing a little something, especially
Same.
Marab if you're able to keep that pace. But Marab just makes it too easy to hate on him.
Bro, our boy Marab Dwalishvili, fucking,
And
I
I do think that Umar is going to get Marab out of there. I think that's a horrible matchup for Marab. Marab, his
really,
striking isn't the best. He can't really hold people down. He could get you down, but people pop right back up immediately. And
yeah,
then that's pretty much all he's got.
yeah, which
But
is a
I
lot.
think I think his method to victory is going to be his cardio, just like Colby, is to push that pace. Umar might slow down. He might not. If
Mm,
Umar slows down, he might be in some trouble. But I think he might be able to finish Marab and get him out of there. We've seen Marab
tr-
hurt in or not almost every fight, but in a lot of fights. Marais hurt him. We see him finished by who's it? Ricky Simone that got him in that
yeah,
guillotine.
yep.
And then I think he lost to Frankie Signs, who's
Oh,
somewhere pumping somebody's gas at a Chevron. And like
that's fucked.
Henry almost dropped him with the left hook. Sean
Ricky,
hurt him to
I
the
think
body.
knocked
Like
him out
he's
or
getting
TKO'd
hurt
him.
in a lot of his fights.
Yeah. It looks like Ricky knocked him out or TKO'd him. I'll have to watch that one. That was probably a fun fight. But yeah, I mean, Marab not a prolific finisher. His last finish was against Marlon Moraes, and
Marais,
I'm
I
not
don't.
even gonna I'm not even gonna
I
comment on
was in
that.
Orlando for that fight. I remember I saw Marais crack him, and he was putting it on him. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. By the time I get back, Marais' head's gonna be in the air, and Marab's just standing over them. And I asked my wife, who was watching the fights with me, I'm like, what the hell did I just miss?
Damn, damn, dude. Shit, time to take a bathroom break. That was me at Tampa for the Manel Cop fight. I was like, I'm gonna go take a piss real quick, and it was over before I before I got back.
That was
Um,
uh, that was a wild
yeah,
comeback.
what is this? Decision against Aldo, decision against Yan, decision against Cejudo,
Yeah,
decision
Aldo,
against
he gets
O'Malley.
pressed into the cage. He can not. I mean, not everybody can take down Aldo. That's a tough task.
Yeah,
But I
Aldo had the
mean,
best takedown defense in the UFC for a long
like
time.
like for example, with Peter Yan, how many takedowns did he hit on Yan?
Let's see.
If you click on that,
Yeah, let's see. Oh, went to Peter Yan. Let's go to the fight. Let's see. Where do they fight here? Oh, is this the Henry one? Fuck me, dude. I'm all over the place. Yan. Here we go.
there we go.
11
So
out of
he shot
49.
49 takedowns. That is
Yep.
absurd to to keep a pace like that for 49 takedowns. I
Yeah.
mean, that should tell you something that he can't really finish the takedowns. Like credit to Jan and his takedown defense, but
Yeah.
he's not really finishing them, and people are popping up.
Jan, underrated grappler too here. Like his foot sweeps, his throws, dude. Jan's a really good fucking grappler. He just gets outshined by his striking, and he kind of uses it in conjunction with his striking really well. So it kind of gets outshined for sure. But
Yeah,
Jan not even cracking 100 total strikes, like that says something. Marab's style, that's a good reference with Colby too. Like it is that heavy pressure takedown style, and if you don't have submissions added to that, and you're not prolific on the feet, like when age hits, that's what's gonna go, and you're not gonna be able to keep. That's an interesting one. I don't
and that's the
know.
thing. Like with Marab, you figure with the pace that he fights at, and same with Colby. Like if they were to just to work on their submission game, they would really be getting people out of there quick.
Yeah,
But he got the like that's almost like the front headlock on Henry. He did it to Sean, and then
yeah.
the round's over, and now everybody's back to their corner.
Damn. And then Umar here.
I think Umar. The only thing that worries me with Umar is the cardio. That, and I think he fought. I forget who it was, but I think it was not Corey, but his two fights before them. One of those two guys, I think, cracked him.
I want to say it was Barcelos. This one finished in the first round. We have to. We'll have
I
to
think it was
rewatch
the other
this.
guy, um,
Almacan.
Almacan. I think
Yeah.
he
Okay.
cracked him.
Okay. We'll have to watch that
That's a
one.
little, you know, I don't know
Yeah.
who that
Has
guy is.
has more finishes than Marab for sure, and like Barcelos not sure, but like submitting Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher is not the best grappler, but certainly like durable. So like that's pretty interesting to me. I don't know. I really don't know about this fight. I probably have Marab, but it also has that feeling of like I think Umar's gonna go in there and like starch him, or like wipe the floor with him. Maybe it's a decision, but
Yeah, because Umar
yeah,
has crazy kicks, so if he can kind of keep it
yes,
within that kicking range and keep
yeah,
kicking the body, Sean hurt him to the body with front kicks twice. I
yeah,
think he hit him with a front kick and then he spun on him, and I think he hurt him in the fifth
yeah.
round.
Okay.
So
Was there a runner up for like your salty salt hate of the
Aljo,
year?
but
Aljo.
Aljo,
Oh,
it was Aljo, but after his last fight against Evloev,
Evloev. Yeah, that was
I
a good
mean,
one.
everybody was like, "Oh, Aljo should be on the main card," but I mean, should he? Should he? Because
I did think he should have
I
ended.
felt
Fuck it.
like the UFC put him on the prelims because of the performance at UFC 300. Now, it was a dominant performance over Cater, but
Yeah,
compared to all the other fights from the bottom to the top, that's the fight where you're like, all right, let me go refill the drink, let me take a piss. If you smoke, you go outside, smoke, do your
yeah.
thing, and you're like, all right, fuck, Aljo's still fighting. I was like,
I just hated that they put Bryce Mitchell, Crone Gracie over Aljo Evloev because also like Evloev's he was 18-0. Like give that dude some fucking respect. I think he should
yeah,
fight for the title next too. But
you think so?
over Brian Lopez, yeah, I think so. Or Diego Lopez
I,
rather. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I feel like Lopez. I feel like Lopez should get it over Evloev. Like
Okay.
especially after what he went through trying to fight Dan Ige, like the two or three
Yeah.
weight cuts, fighting
Yeah.
Dan Ige on like 3 hours notice.
Yeah.
And
That
he
was a
could have just
great
pulled
fight.
out and said, you know what, I'm not fighting. But he said, fuck it, I'll take it. Like he gassed in the third, but that's because he had those
Yeah.
like the three weight cuts.
Yeah.
Like that
Totally.
that's
Also,
insane.
Dan Ige is sturdy as fuck. You gotta like bring it to Dan
Nobody finishes
Ige.
Ige.
Yeah, that dude's fucking hardcore. Diego Lopez, my one of my runner ups for male fighter of the year, dude. I gotta give the Dorain Miller award. I think I'm gonna change it to the Dorain Miller Salt Bay of the Year award. To fucking, or maybe I'll do Salty Dog because it was originally Salty Dog, and then I came up with like the veteran one, and I was like, I gotta call this one the Old Dog because that's like all I can say about those old dudes who still got those old dogs. Maybe it'll be like the Dog Awards. The Dorain Miller Salty Dog of the Year award for me goes to Bryce Mitchell. I fucking hate. Listen, anytime Bryce Mitchell opens his mouth, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Um, Great performance against Crone Gracie, which I like is not saying much in the UFC, like because Crone probably shouldn't be there. It also made me sad, just like Crone's little decline in the martial arts world writ large. But like Bryce Mitchell being like, I don't wear seatbelts because who the fuck is the dude? Came so close to a based perspective on something, and then immediately I was like, oh shit, do me and Bryce Miller agree on something? And then like kept talking and his reasoning why would just put his foot in his mouth. He's like, I don't think the government should be telling me that I have to wear a seatbelt. And I was like, yes, dude, fuck yeah. Dump the tea over the side of the ship and let's fucking plant our flag in the ground. And he's like, yeah, because what if you have to jump out of the car while it's moving? And you're like, dude, the most retarded reasoning for like what was otherwise like at least a nuanced opinion on something, And
Yeah,
Bryce Miller, just the biggest, awesome submissions,
he's
just
got great
fucking
grappling.
wild fucking opinions on life. And then like when he got knocked out by fucking it
Emmett
wasn't Kelleher, Emmett, dude,
sent him to the shadow realm.
maybe one of the scariest knockouts I've ever seen. And that Shing Mi head kick right up there with that, where like you're like, oh shit, are they okay? Bryce Mitchell like twitching, like convulsing on the canvas, dude. That was a hardcore one to watch. my older brother, who's like very far liberal, was like I guess just came across a clip of Bryce Mitchell in like whatever his liberal like feed looks like on social media, and he's like, "Who is this guy? Do you know him?" And I'm like, "Oh, Bryce Mitchell." He goes, "Yeah, he's a fucking idiot." And I'm like, "Oh, let me send you a." I sent him the video of Emmett knocking. I was like, "Don't worry, he got his," and it's Emmett just fucking sending him to the fucking shadow realm. That was a good one, dude. So there you
What
have it,
about
dude. That yeah,
Jamal
yeah.
Hill almost got it?
So
Because I
Jamal
mean,
Hill,
I like Jamal Hill,
I
but
don't.
every time he opens his mouth, I like him a little less. Like, how do you go to confront somebody and you're like, oh, we're not on Twitter now? They throw you the gloves, and you're like, no, 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 no. I mean,
Yo,
what are we doing? Why
that
even
was
go there in the
so
first
funny.
place?
That was
Like, what are
so
you doing,
funny.
bro?
Why would you? Yeah, like why would you
Like,
physically show up there if you're not ready to do that?
it
That
makes
was
absolutely no sense between
yeah,
that. He's always talking about like the Herb thing. Oh, Dean got in there distracting me. It's like, bro, you're fighting for a fucking time. Get it together.
yeah. It's
Again,
real
protect
victim
yourself at
shit
all
too.
times.
It's
Just
not my
Jamal Hill,
fault.
just please stop. It's like
Yeah,
you keep focusing on Alex. You got Yuri in front of you. Like
he's
Yuri's a
yeah,
beast. He gets hit a lot, but you can't really get hit by Jamal Hill. But I think he's going to be a lot faster than Jamal Hill.
yeah.
Um, so I actually
Um,
like I actually do like Jamal Hill in that fight.
really?
Yeah,
You
I
gonna bet
think
on it?
Jamal Hill almost got it, and Izzy. I've never been an Izzy fan,
I
and then the
know,
fact that he did the Max Holloway point to the ground against DDP, and then like 30, 40 seconds later, he's getting choked out.
bro.
I'm not
That
gonna
was
say
a
I was happy to see him lose, but I definitely wasn't upset.
yeah. Izzy and I mean, yeah, that even made me sad as an Izzy fan. Where I'm like, you can't back up. Maybe it's because I'm more of a Holloway fan, but like, dude, you can't do that and then back up. That's fucking lame.
Yeah,
Um, I, dude, Jamal Hill was my number two for sure, but like, I don't know, man. And also like on that Yuri fight, they both get hit a good amount. I think Yuri probably gets hit more, but like Jamal Hill gets hit too. Um, very similar like body types, very similar like styles in the sense that like they're both kind of striking heavy, but different methods of going after it. Like Jamal Hill, like more boxing heavy, I would say, and then like
yeah.
Yuri, a little bit more of everything, like the kicks, the knees, the elbows. I don't know who I have in that fight. It's gonna be a wild one. I
I got Jamal Hill. I think
I kind of
he's
yeah
got the power out of both of them. Like, yeah,
yeah
Yuri, he kind of ran through Alexander Rocket after he got hit a couple times. He said, nothing can hurt me now,
yeah
whatever. And just
that was
walked right through all of his shots and said, fuck him, I'm winning.
yeah dude
I don't see him doing that to Jamal Hill. You can't, or else you're going to sleep. But
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think Jamal
It should be
catches
a
him on a
great fight.
counter.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I definitely I do have Hill going into that fight. Outside of
Okay.
all of Jamal Hill's antics, I've always been a fan of his. But
Yeah,
just for the love of God, just shut your mouth,
I loved after he
please.
beat because Jamal Hill beat Glover to get the belt, right?
Yeah,
No, Yuri
well,
did. No, Yuri did.
they both did.
Oh, they both. Oh shit, yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It was when Jamal Hill beat Glover that I was like, man, fuck this guy. And then like I've been like that ever since. Like I don't know why I'm just not that much of a fan of him. I don't know. He's fun enough to watch, but like I'm never like, ooh, what's Jamal Hill gonna do next? Like even
Yeah,
like in I mean like at lightweight. Like I'm not the biggest like Benoit Saint Denis, Renato Moicano, Michael. Like I'm not really like a huge fan of those guys, but whenever they have like a matchup, I'm like, oh shit, who are they gonna fight next? Like that'll be a fun
yeah.
one. Jamal
But that
Hill,
and the other thing is that Yuri's fought in better competition than
yeah,
Jamal Hill has. He's fought in far better
yeah.
competition. But I don't know, man.
His wins
That
are
fight should
like
be really good.
yeah.
I think
Yuri's wins are like electrifying, but like Jamal Hill's are like definitive. Whereas like Jerry's like very creatively, but like then he has like these really tough fights, like against Glover. Like he almost lost that fight.
Yeah, he did. I think Glover had a couple low IQ moments in there where instead of going for like trying to jump a guillotine, just keep throwing bombs on him. He's
Yeah,
rocked.
dude.
He has no idea where he's at. Don't sit there and try to jump a gilly.
Couple of fucking moments in that fight too that I thought Glover had it. A couple moments I thought Yuri had it before he did too. And you said you brought this up before the show. This is our last thing. You said Cater has a fight coming up. Do you know
Yeah,
who?
it looks like Calvin Cater against Yusef. Hold on, what's his last name?
Sadiq
Zala?
Yusuf.
No, Yusef Zalal. Azala.
Oh yes,
I think he had a pretty good
Yusuf
2
Zalal.
2024 too. I think he
Yeah, the
was with the
Moroccan
UFC.
Devil.
Yeah, he was with the UFC. He got cut. They signed him back, and he's just been choking everybody out.
Yeah, this is Yusuf's record.
Yeah, there.
Damn, and
Yeah,
he
there it
beat.
is.
Okay,
Triangle
I
choke,
was looking up.
rear naked choke.
Damn.
So he had a
Okay.
good year, and uh he was with the UFC before.
Yeah.
He had, I think, like 3 or 4 losses, or it may have been 3 losses and a draw.
Oh
Yeah, there
wow,
it
he had
is.
a few. There we go. I
Yeah, but
mean,
some like the names that he fought there in that UFC stint, he fought Ilya took the fight with 8 days notice. Then he fought
yeah,
Sang Choi. He's nah. Sean
yeah.
Woodson
Sean
just had a
Sean
nice
Woodson,
KO
who was
on
at
UFC
Tampa. Yeah.
Tampa. And
Yep.
then Damon Blackshear, who's he's mid. He's all right. I think he just got a win, and then he just got starched, and then they cut him.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. 3 losses and a draw, and then like UFC was
And then
like,
he
nah,
he
we're
was
good
eating
on
some
this.
bombs off of Ilya. Ilya, that was a pretty cool fight. I think
Yeah.
that really displayed some of Ilya's grappling. Ilya kind of went grappling heavy
Yeah.
because it was his debut, so he's trying to throw bombs, mix it up, show what he can do. He took the fight 8 days notice,
Yeah.
but Ilya gassed out in the third round.
Understandable too at that
So
point. Yeah, dude. And then he, goes in this Sparta fight thing. Then he comes back, fights Billy Quarantillo, and Jack Shore. Jack Shore is a good win too. Jack Shore is a good win.
yeah,
Yeah, I hope Cater wins. I want to see what's Cater's ad. I want to see what's Cater's 23-8. Damn.
he's Cater needs to win.
Yeah.
His
Oh, I did not know he was on a 3-fight skid.
Yeah, the Arnold Allen one I won't really count against him because of that knee
Blew out his.
injury.
Yeah.
But the Emmett fight he
Damn.
should have won. I don't know how Emmett got that decision.
Yeah. I, I
Just
I I forgot about the
I
Arnold
think
Allen
he
fight.
outstruck Emmett, and Emmett's face was just butchered, just off
Yeah.
of damage alone.
I
The
remember that now.
Sterling fight, he got dominated.
I was walking
So I
around
know,
Ashley Furniture looking for a new bed frame, listening to a podcast, and they were talking about that, and I was just like, yeah, how the fuck did Emmett win? And
yeah, Emmett had no
I
business winning
guess
that fight.
yeah. And Cater, dude, when he lost against Holloway, god tier Holloway performance, another one. But then he came back and fought Giga. I did not think he was gonna beat Giga. And
Oh, neither
he
did
did
I.
a whole switch. Like he did,
I think that
instead of
that
doing
fight
like the
changed Giga.
power combos, Cater comes back and is hitting volume and angles like Holloway. And then like that was so I was like, dude, Cater's gonna be a new level Cater after that. And then
Well,
like
the
Giga,
elbows
haven't
that he
seen
was landing on Giga were insane.
beautiful fucking Muay Thai against Giga Chikadze. Giga,
Well,
who has
what's
not
Giga doing
fought.
these days here? Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
he
right. He
lost to
did just
Calvin
fight
Cater.
Arnold Allen.
Yeah, and then
He hit him with
Caceres.
that nice front kick though.
Caceres.
That was kind of sick.
Yeah, Arnold Allen should be getting a good fight soon. Um, yeah, okay, that's it. We gotta send you off. I know, brother, dude. I could not have anyone else but my first guest be you because you are the ultimate fight fan, homie. And I train, I coach, I occasional cage fighter, and yeah, I have the most fun talking about fights with you. So this is wild. This is a good time. Anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to say?
No, man, just thanks for having me on. If you want me back on, if the people want me back on,
I
just
think
let me
so.
know. Leave a comment in the comment section.
Do it.
Hit the thumbs
Do
up
it.
button for my boy. He's trying.
We're out here. We're trying. It's fun to shout about MMA shit and have someone to actually shout back too. You know, my brother. That is all we got. And yeah, shit. We'll see y'all next time.